and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 17th of June, everybody. Let me get to June. What day are we on today? We are on section 27 today, so we're moving down here. Let's see how I am best trying to position the canvas with the camera. Probably looping it over like this is probably going to be the safest option. So we'll be covering up the rest for a hope of being able to see and still reach my trays further back. There we go. Let's try that. So we've got quite a lot of white on this one again, but it's all good. Say I like quite a bit of white. So I'm using a shop pen today because it was handy. And I am filming this one on the day, only a few hours before it's due to go up. It's cool. We were out last night. We had a 60th birthday party in the family, so we were out for that and we got back quite late. So I'm doing this the following morning. Thank goodness it is a lot cooler today where we are. It's now more like a 23. 23 is a nice warm day, in my opinion, and I'm hoping this week carries that trend on. Liz says, hi Rebecca. She said she did her last section before heading into the garden this morning. So she is de-kitting while watching. I've got quite a few kits to de-kit. I'm waiting for a cooler day where I can film all day and then maybe just bring in all my spare diamond boxes and just do my de-kitting videos sort of one after the other, with a brew break of course, but just do them all while my diamonds are in here. Mainly Paint Gem mini kits I think is the main thing I've got to de-kit and get some more ready, but that's my hope. But yeah, now it's cooled down, I've got a chance. Share for Him says, hi Rebecca. She says she's loving the whip and waffle. She said to continue with the Woolworth conversation. She said they had a Woolworth in California when she was a child. She said it had the lunch counter. She has a big memory from there. She said she was probably 8 years old at the time. She got a big treat because she got a glass of Coca-Cola with ice. She says as she was drinking it, her mum noticed that there was a big chunk of glass in her drink. She said at the time, she said she thought of it as a big drama because she thought she almost died. She said years later, after she was married, she said they had a store in town called Woolco. She said she always wondered if they were part of Woolworth. She said on our recent trip to Puerto Vallarta, she said we visited a Woolworth. She said she was so surprised to see it after so many years. It's amazing what stores we all remember and memories that we have from those stores as well, you know, years later. Jess said she said it's the first time that she has finished her section before me this month. She says she's working on a 60 by 60 square, so she's averaging going over by about 15 minutes. She said this section, the section she's just done, was a bunch of colour blocking, so she was able to plug away with her 9-placer and finish quickly. She says she's really enjoying the June waffle. She says, thanks for doing it. She says she knows it's a lot to do an hour plus whip and chat every day. She said, you're the best. The giveaways, she says, have been exciting too. And she said, congratulations to the winners so far. Yes, it has been fun. It has been fun to do. It is tiring. It can be, you know, especially trying to slot in that hour. But I have managed to slot a couple in during the day. It's mainly been the heat that stopped me doing that this week, because Catherine is home from uni. So I am able to slip some in sometimes. I'm hoping if the week's cooler next week, I can do it a little bit more to get my evenings back. But I do really enjoy them. So it's the getting started. Once I'm in here and starting filming, time flies. It's just sometimes it is just getting moved and in here. But I say, yeah, I am absolutely loving doing them, and the giveaways is fun as well. I'm actually, you know, seeing people get, you know, nice gifts spread, you know, sent on. Seeing some of my stash go down a little bit, while also putting a smile on somebody's face. Also, I love that as well. To be honest, I love both of it, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more, maybe with some of the big ones in the future. Maybe I'll just get a little bit more choosy as to what goes into my stash, and what goes on my decision wheels to do, and then pass on some of the others at different times. We shall see. Sammy says, hi Rebecca. She says she has a square painting which she thought was a good idea to buy as a 45 by 80 centimetre canvas. She says when she only normally does small paintings. She says usually the largest one she does is a 30 by 40. She said she started it in 2020, but she keeps stopping, she said, as it is a struggle. She said she would love to get it finished by the end of July. She said any tips will be greatly appreciated. She said she doesn't really multi-place, as she can never get them in a straight line, and she finds she spends much more time fixing it. She says, hope you're all keeping well. The main thing I think with a big canvas, especially if you've only done small and you're used to finishing at a certain time, so you know you're used to finishing a painting and in effect celebrating that completion within however long it normally takes you. So whether that be a few days, whether that be a week, whether that be a month, whatever you know normally achieve a painting in, it can be disheartening if you then decide to do a large one and it doesn't get completed as quick. It's like your brain knows it's bigger, your brain knows it's going to take longer, but it also thinks it's going to take quicker than it does. So there's a couple of different things that you can do depending on which one resonates with you, which one clicks with you. So one is to actually sort of section up your big painting into smaller paintings, in a sense. So whether that be if you use cover paper, mainly only covering up, you know, a 30 by 40-ish section. I mean, what did you say the painting was? A 45 by 80. So maybe section it into 4, maybe 6, because section it into 4 still will be giving you like 40 by 40s, won't it? Or 45 by 40s. No, give you 2 45 by 40s. So section it into quarters and say, right, this is the painting that I'm working on. And when you've completed that quarter, then you section up or prepare your second quarter. Maybe you do another painting in between. So you're doing it in quarters, so it feels as though you're finishing a painting in the same amount of time, and then you do another one that you finish, and then you go back to doing another quarter and finishing that. Maybe that will give you sort of the sense of achievement that you're thinking of, that you're, you know, that your brain's wanting, because it gets with every other painting. The other thing you could do is do the likes of divide it up into small sections, possibly smaller, or definitely I'd say smaller than you would normally do, and work on a small section a day, and then work on another painting alongside it. So you're seeing progress on your big one while still completing small ones. And maybe one of those options will sort of make you feel as though you are getting somewhere with it while still getting other paintings completed in the meantime. And, you know, you're actually making some progress with it, rather than looking at it and in effect going, oh no, and putting it away and putting it off. So maybe one of those two will help. Jo, she said, hi Rebecca, she said, you made me laugh when you read out my comment today. She says, because she just finished day 12 after midnight. So she said it was 1:44 a.m. on June the 12th, she said as well. She said she resisted doing it, but she happened to glance at her work email and found some high priority tasks, so she may not have had time to complete it during the day. So she completed it first thing in the morning. She said, what a coincidence in timing. She said, as always, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for a great waffle. You do you, Jo. If it works, it works. It is, you know, it's technically right. You know, you are in June the 12th, even if you've sort of not slept and your body's still in June the 11th. You know, you're making it work for you and your lifestyle. So you do you. I like it. Amy, she says she's glad that she got lolly molds for her son, who is sat with a homemade lolly. She said it makes her think of her childhood. Oh, we always used to have those homemade ones, but then all we ever wanted was a lolly from the shop, an ice lolly from the shop, because we were always getting homemade ones. And now homemade ones for kids are fun, and we always think, well, we were never interested, or at least we weren't in our house. We wanted the ones from the shop. Lady Dax, she said it's been another hot one here today. She says we were supposed to get a storm. She says, but she thinks it must have gotten lost. She said, does anyone else get headaches in this stormy weather? She said she really wishes it would thunder. See, we look forward to thunder for clearing the air. That's what I look forward to thunder for. You know, I still enjoy thunder and lightning. It doesn't bother Luna, which means it doesn't mean it's a, oh my goodness me, here we go. She's not bothered by thunder. But, so, yeah, so in one way I'm like, oh yeah, I want thunder and lightning to clear the air. I was so disappointed one day last week, because we did have thunder and lightning, and we did have torrential rain, and it made the air worse. It left and it was muggy as anything. It was so disappointing. We did have a little bit of rain last night, which did ease up the weather. It keeps changing when it's supposed to rain here, like what day and how much it's supposed to rain. But we are showing us having more 23, 24 degree days. So I am hoping it's going to be an easier week next week. I'm just hoping the mugginess doesn't come with it, because it's just not exciting. I don't tend to get headaches in stormy weather, but I definitely don't like the mugginess. I just feel I just can't move as freely when it's muggy. Elaine says, hi Rebecca. She says, unfortunately, she hasn't been able to do much diamond painting, she said, these last few days, as her rabbit has had surgery. Oh dear. She says she switched from a canvas to small projects such as cards and coasters, so that she can still join in the waffle each day. Oh, that's a lovely idea, because they take a lot less time, so you won't feel as though you're neglecting your rabbit or anything else that needs doing. You know, you can still dedicate your time, but you're getting that little bit of me time in, albeit a little bit less than you planned, but that's okay too. Sometimes you just need those 5 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes is all you need. Parents of toddlers who can't go to the toilet on their own will let you know that sometimes 5 minutes is enough. That's all you need. Tina, she says hi. She says she has to say she has kept up so far every day. She says 4 p.m. she sits and gets a section done. She said it's really awesome, and she's really enjoying this and listening to everyone's comments. She says she really feels less alone. She says, have a lovely week, and thank you so much. Excuse me. Thank you so much for all that you do. So welcome, Tina. I'm so glad we can keep you company. We can chat about all sorts of stuff, and just make the day a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more different. While I do have videos going up most days, I think July, across both channels, in July I think there is only 2 days that there is no video going up. So there'll always be something on one or the other channel. I do recognise that it is different. Waffles are different to the other videos. It definitely feels more like a conversation between us all, especially, you know, because it is a conversation between us all. It's your comments and stuff like that. So yeah, it's different, but hopefully you can find a level of enjoyment in that and keep up having the company throughout other months too. Crafty Erin says thank you for another waffle. You're welcome. So glad you're enjoying them. Laurie, she says, good afternoon everyone. She said topics for today. So she says number 1. She says Woolworths. She says here in the US, she said we had a pick and mix, and it featured candies from the Branch Candy Company. She says the wrappers were pink and white stripes, she said, and they were always a treat. She said sad story about Helen Branch, the owner / CEO of Branch Candies. She said she had a stable of racehorses that ran in Illinois and Florida. She says, and maybe a few other states, but she's not sure. She said the brash silks that the jockeys wore were a beautiful pink and white stripe. She said her horses were always named something like Brash Love, Brash Honey, and so on. She said she mostly saw her horses in Florida during winter vacation. And she knew that she would win, she said, if she bet on them. She said until a tragedy happened. She said Helen disappeared. It's always been speculated She said that a handyman, that it's always been speculated that the handyman at a Chicago home killed her, ground her up in a meat grinder, and fed her remains to her dogs. She said it's a cold case from the 1970s. She said, and it probably will never be resolved. She said after Helen's death/disappearance, she said her horses didn't win anymore. She said, so sad for the racing and candy worlds. That is sad. It's always hard when it's not known as well. I can expect it can be, it will be 10 times worse for her friends and family. But quite often, as hard as the truth could be, it is better than the not knowing, for sure. She said, number 2, she said, Alice in Wonderland. She said, in today's video, which was the 11th, she said, you said down the rabbit hole. She said, and that brought my mind to something that has been baffling her. She says, for the last 2 years since getting into junk journaling and diamond painting. She said, just what is the fascination, she said, with dear old Alice? She said, did she miss another trend? Did she sleep through reading that book? She said she's just so confused. I think a lot of or it is for me, I can only really speak for me. I enjoy Alice in Wonderland. I wouldn't say, I know I have a lot of diamond paintings that are Alice in Wonderland, but I wouldn't say it's like I constantly read the book or constantly watch the films or the movies or anything like that. I think it was just so different and a little bit mad and a little bit random. And I think that's probably what's brought the fascination, is it's real worldy, but it's not. There's just these little twists in it. I don't know. Somebody else probably can put it into a lot better words than I can and know a lot better what it is about Alice in Wonderland that attracts people. Maybe it's just because it is a wonderland. I know The Secret Garden was a book and then a film that just used to fascinate me as well. It's just, is there any chance we could find a secret garden? And it was just that whole mystery excitement when you're younger. Could that be something that I find is a secret garden and it's all mysterious and magic? And could I go down a rabbit hole and have all these sorts of adventures and see all these sort of weird sort of people? Maybe it comes from childhood fascination, maybe. And it just sticks with you, just that little bit, it just stays there. Laurie also says, she says, thanks for listening and have a wonderful day. See, Wonderland, it's all tied in there. I can't remember, what was it? There was a TV show that did a little bit of a spin-off from Alice in Wonderland. I think it was a TV show. And I can't remember what it was. No, it's lost. It might have been a TV show. It might have been a film. No, I've lost. It was only like one episode, I think. They did a little spin-off from it. A little sort of, a bit like, no, I'm not helping myself. I'm trying to explain something that I don't quite understand myself enough to explain. So let's leave that topic there. Sarah, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she would love to see some more behind the scenes at the Admore Zest shop. She said, if you're interested, she said she has seen small shop owners film themselves packing orders. And she says she knows personally, she always enjoys those types of videos. She said she would be thrilled to see an Add More Zest order packed if you're interested in that idea. That is something I have thought about. I do have a system when I pack orders, and it's whether I can either adapt that system or blur out parts of that system to make it work. See, we don't have the camera that I use for filming for YouTube. I don't think it has. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have sort of a time-lapse option because it tends to save to the memory card after 24 minutes-ish. Anything between 23 and 26 minutes it saves. A time-lapse isn't as much of a possibility on the camera. So I need to look into sort of whether it can do something like that and still record longer footage, but just snippets of it. So that's something that I sort of need to look into as to whether I could, you know, film packing orders over a certain period of time and maybe set the camera up outside the craft room, or it's where I could set it up that you could sort of see what I'm doing but not see too much. I always have the orders in a stack, in a paper stack next to me, and I'm always working off the one off the top. And then I do write the customer's name and their order number on the front of the box so that I can identify which order it is for doing the postage label, because it needs to be packed before I can determine the weight. So it's whether I can sort of blur out those things to be able to do it, or whether when I am filming orders I need to actually pack them differently to my normal to keep that information out of the camera view. Not as much the actual order number, but of course customer names and stuff. Whereas we put both just so that we have two reference points. You know, if you write the wrong number by accident, we'd have to open the whole box to check if we were putting postage on the right one. It's just easier to put both and have that sort of checkpoint when we're sending orders off to make sure they get to the right people. Because I would hate to mix two orders up and send them to the wrong person. So, because I'd do it international. If I was going to do it, it would definitely be something that would take longer to determine what had happened and cost more to fix it. I just know it. It's definitely the way it would go. So it's not a no. It is just something I need to get my head round. And I'm sure once I've got my head round it and I've done it a few times, it will be really easy and I will do it more. It's just getting over that first hurdle. At the minute, I just feel as though there's so many other things grabbing my attention. And I have a pile of things on the table in the conservatory. I'd call it a dining table, but we hardly ever get to sit there and eat for stuff on it. And I always feel like that's what needs dealing with first, because once that's dealt with, it can go away. And when the dining table's clear, I feel like I'm caught up. So it's not a no, it's just there are quite a few different factors that I need to take into account, mainly not passing on the wrong details, sharing details. Making sure that customer details are hidden. But I do think it would be interesting. Maybe I'll try and see if we can do something on a launch day, maybe, where it just gives you snippets of the different processes that are involved in getting an order out. And yeah, just the sorts of things that we do. Maybe try and do it in little snippets that don't show customer details, but give you a description of the stuff that we need to go through each process for orders. Maybe we'll see if we can do that one launch weekend. Trish, she said, so far, she says, no one has mentioned that Woolworths, she said, at least in NJ, is that New Jersey, USA? She said was also called Woolworths 5 and Dime. I think I have seen that mentioned somewhere, though it might not have been read out by the time you commented. It was never called 5 and Dime in the UK. 5 and Dime wouldn't have made any sense to us Brits. So it didn't go across the pond, but I think a few people have mentioned that 5 and Dime was something that was used in the States. Whether it was every state or not, I don't know. She says she doesn't necessarily remember whether if everything cost 5 cents or 10 cents. She says, but she definitely remembers it being called that. Yeah, there is people that have said that. So your memory is definitely right on that one. Of it being called 5 and Dime in some, if not all states in the US. It just definitely didn't make it over here. Ina says, hi Rebecca. She said, sorry, she had to pause the video. I forgive you. It didn't affect me at all. She says, because she has finally finished her huge custom painting. Well done you. She said she had to take photos immediately. She says because we had very beautiful sunny weather. She said it's too hot for her outside because it is 29 degrees. She says so she painted a lot in the last 2 days in a cool house. This heat is definitely a fantastic time to diamond paint. Out of the way of it. Keep yourself cool. I have been picking tasks that allow me to sit in front of the air conditioner, I must say. One of my tasks yesterday was actually weeding the insides out of letters and diamonds that were cut on the cry cut machine. And last time I needed to cut some things on the cry cut. I was like, oh, I'll do a few sheets of the Admore Zest and the diamonds that we use on various different products. I'll do a few sheets of each. You know, thinking, let's get quite a few so I don't have to be cutting them as often. I forget that I have to weed them. It's like when I go to do anything that requires laminating and stuff, it's like, oh, I'll do more. And then I forget that they've all got more steps after that. So it's not just the step of sending them through the cry cut, it's the weeding of them as well. But it was a really nice task to get done in front of the air conditioner yesterday. It gave me an excuse to sit right next to the aircon unit and get them all weeded so that any products that we need doing in the future, because I was not heat pressing anything yesterday, but anything that we need them for in the future, it's ready and I can top up stock as and when required. And it cleared a space on my dining table, so that made it all the better as well, because they were sat on my dining table waiting to be done. But yeah, definitely pick the cool projects. And yeah, diamond painting at evening is definitely something easier to do because you just sat down. Brianne, she says, while we're having fun sharing our tips and tricks for multi-placing, which before I read this one out, I must say I have got myself a 4-placer now. I do like the 4-placer. I am enjoying probably more than using the 3-placer. I'm enjoying using the 4-placer on my Dreamers designs. I've only had one sort of session, one diamond painting evening using it, but I have really enjoyed it. I actually used it with a putty that I have unboxed on my other channel today. I'm not sure whether I've put the video up before this or after this, but I actually used that putty in the multi-placer. And yeah, I've really enjoyed using the 4-placer the other day. So she says she really hopes that I'm not feeling pressure, that I am expected to multi-place as well. She says you've done quite well, she says, and gotten quite fast over these 5 years. She said single placing your way through dozens of paintings. She says, and if you find single placing easier, more relaxing or more enjoyable, she says, then that's what you should do. Oh, thank you, Brianne. She says, while she does use a 4-placer some, she says she can't deny the peacefulness she finds in dotting one at a time. To be fair, I'm quite enjoying giving multi-placing a go on some paintings. At the moment, I'm doing it on a round, and I think because I'm doing it on a round and this one's a square, that's why I've not sort of just brought my multi-placer in and decided to try it on this one. I'm not sat at the same angle that I'm sat doing my round, because this is flat on my desk. And yeah, it's a different shape diamond to what I've been multi-placing with. So I think that's probably the reason I've not tried to do it on this painting. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I will. Knowing me, I'll probably keep forgetting and not quite be ready to give it a go. Because I'm only doing this painting on camera and I'm not doing any of it off camera to give it a go a few times first, when it can have my full concentration. But I am quite enjoying doing it on the Dreamers Designs one. Now, maybe it's just because it mixes it up a little bit. So it's a bit like changing and doing this by sections, is mixing it up a little bit. And I've got a mystery painting that's mixing it up a little bit. And then using the multi-placer on the Dreamers Designs. It's like it's just bringing a little bit of variety to it for me. But there definitely are, later on in the evening as I'm going along, I tend to ditch the multi-placer as it gets later, and as I get a bit more tired, it's just like, oh no, I'll just go back to single placing. Like, it's easier for me to single place. I don't have to think quite as much, though I'm getting better with my multi-placing. Brianne says, she says, as I'm typing this, she says, you are reading my comment about symbol nicknames. She says some silly one she uses is pregnant stick and biohazard. She says, can you tell that my real life job is medical? She says there's a magic wand. She says that she thinks some people call a needle. She says, but she loves Harry Potter, so it's a magic wand to her. I like it. I like it. I think I'm going to adopt that pregnant stick name though. That just makes me laugh. Sherry, she says she loves the discussions that pop up during these waffles. She says she doesn't multi-place because it causes her to stress. She said, and the whole point for her is anxiety reduction. She said, that being said, she said she does love to watch YouTube creators out there that are multi-placer whiz kids. She said it's amazing to watch. She said, keep up the good waffle. Thank you. And yeah, you may get to see me multi-place at some point, but I'm definitely not a whiz kid, that's for sure. Jen, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's just catching up on my whip and waffles. She says she can't remember where. She said, but she is sure she heard somewhere that one of the easiest ways to pick drills up off a carpet is with a spoon. So you can push the bowl of the spoon into the carpet to get under the drills and scoop them up. That sounds good. That definitely sounds like a valid thing. I mean, the rug in my craft room is a very, very low pile rug, so it actually wasn't too bad. But if I ever dropped them on, you know, my stairs carpet or something, for example, then a spoon would definitely come into play a bit more. Crafty J Newton, she says, thank you for sharing. She said she's enjoying listening as she was diamond painting. She said, have a blessed week. You too, JJ Newton. I hope you're having a wonderful week yourself. I think I need to pop. I'm not sure if this has actually got putty in this pen. I can't remember if I actually popped it. I think I popped in some of Abby's diamond painting putty in this pen. That's what memory tells me, and it definitely doesn't look like it's not putty. I don't think it was this one. I've got hold of the cherry one. I think it was a different one that's actually in my cart in the conservatory. But I'm going to top it up with a little bit of cherry. I think it originally had lemon sherbet in it because I love that smell. So I'm going to top that up a little bit. Hope it isn't that I've just put it on top of a glue dot. I'm guessing it will come out if I have. And see how it goes. Laura, she said, hi Rebecca. She says, you mentioned that you are looking forward to getting back to your routine. She said she hopes that I can too soon. She says she needs to get back into her routine also. She said since the June Waffle started, she's been able to watch daily. She says, but when I'm done with my square, she just continues to diamond paint. She said it's been so much fun. Thank you so much, she says, for doing the June Waffle. It's been a pleasure painting with you. She said, see you tomorrow. I got back into my routine a little bit more this last week, but not fully. I think the heat, of course, has thrown things off a little bit. But I have had more productive days and less productive days mixed in. A lot dependent, well, a lot of it dependent on the heat and how quick I can get the air conditioner kicking in the conservatory. But yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Every routine and stuff that you have days where everything just flows and ticks all those boxes, and days where it doesn't. But I suppose that is part of life. But yeah, it's definitely been getting there. I definitely feel a little bit more on an even keel this last week, that's for sure. Marwais says, hi Rebecca. Said she's been playing catch up these last few days. She says she works at a nursing home for people with dementia, and it's been very hectic, she said, these days, so her brain has been pretty fried once she gets home. She said also she got a puppy. I like the fact that you blamed it on work and not the puppy. It's probably the puppy. She said he is the cutest little English setter named Echo, which is the Norwegian word for echo. So it's spelt E-K-K-O. I've still read it out as Echo. I don't know if it's actually pronounced differently to Echo, but I like the name. She says, although he's very well behaved puppy, her cat absolutely hates his guts. See, our Luna hates cats, hates them with a passion. She said between work, caring for the puppy and trying to negotiate some kind of peace between him and the cat, she said there hasn't been much time for crafting. I am not surprised. A puppy will definitely upset the crafting apple cart for a little bit until they get past their little bitey monster phase. She says, Echo and my boyfriend are currently out on a little adventure. So she is binge watching the June Waffle and cross stitching. She's got about 1,100 stitches done, so she's making great progress. You are. That is some good going. I hope they're having fun on their outdoor adventure, and the Echo will be absolutely exhausted once he returns, or once he did return, because of course this was a while ago. I hope he had great fun. Grenagran, she says, hi Rebecca. She says sometimes she has to play catch up on listening as she works full time, and days sometimes can get away from her. I think you're one of those people that also needs 48 hours to everybody else's 24. She says she's been diamond painting daily, so she said that is all that really matters. Yes, that's the main aim of it, just to get a little bit, even if it's not long. She says she listens while she works, if she is working from home, and treats the Whip and Waffle as a podcast. It can be both. You don't have to watch me place my diamonds if need be. She says a combination of your June event, she said, and the DP for Pets event, she says, have helped her stay more monogamous with a project and consider the large canvases as sections, or like 2 30 by 40s, etc. She says one dot at a time, except when she multi-places. And for those that think multi-placing is cheating, she said it does take time to build that skill. It's just another tool in the toolbox, she said, so why not use it? And I agree. I say the cheating side of things, I think everybody that's commented saying they've agreed with what I said in relation to me feeling as though it's cheating is a personal feeling, not that anybody else is cheating. We're jealous probably of other people to a slight extent. We're jealous of other people who multi-place to a certain extent. One, because they've learnt that skill, and two, because they themselves don't feel like they're cheating while doing it. And not that they should, but we want to be able to feel like we're not cheating. Especially if it's, maybe on some diamond paintings more than others. We would like to, there's always that diamond painting that you're doing that seems to be taking forever compared to another one. And I think it's one like that it's like, oh, why can't I multi-place my way through this one? One, with the skill, and two, without not feeling like I'm cheating. And I think, that's the only thing. It's always a self-inflicted feeling that we're cheating, not that somebody else is cheating. I hope that makes sense, because I'm not in any way saying that anybody that multi-places is cheating. It's my own accusation of myself that is felt. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, camera. Nellie says she has just lost her cat Misty. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. She said on the same day she looked on Facebook and found a diamond painting picture of a cat that has the same colours in it. She says she has ordered it because it will remind her of Misty. Oh, that's nice. She says then her lady that helped her asked if she would like to if Nellie would like to diamond paint a picture of her cat. She says she loves my videos. She says PS, she says she just heard me read her comments about my tower, and she said she didn't think of that. I think that was when Nellie mentioned popping the diamond painting underneath my painting tower when I'm working on a section like this one. Whereas my fear was I'd pull the canvas and pull it over. But that's fair enough. If it's not something that you work with, I am one of those people that always think, okay, what is the worst that could happen, and therefore should I do this? So it's just the way that my brain often works. It's like, okay, what's the worst outcome? You know, within reason, but you know, what's a bad outcome? And therefore, one, is it worth it? Or two, is there something that I can do as well to stop that? Or should I do it differently? And in the case of this one, I find that rolling it up and not putting it underneath works just as well. Brianne, she said, so interesting about Woolworths. She said she is glad that I looked it up. She says she is in Indiana, US. I'm not old enough to remember them too much, but she certainly remembers hearing them discussed by her parents and her grandparents. She says she does remember them being a 5 and dime, so she wasn't thinking ours were the same. To hear the discussion, she said, coming from our Aussie friends. She says, as she's typing, she says the topic has now changed again. Does that a lot. She says she loves it. She says she does love watching me do the Splatterworks kits. She says, but she has been too nervous to do all the whites, she said, by herself. She said she may have to try though, because she is absolutely head over heels for their new koala. She says that they brought out a couple of weeks ago. Yes, koala is gorgeous. I do have koala. There is less white in koala than many of the others. Definitely than Mr. Quacker's. They have cut out a lot of the white, or in this case, the light colour, because this one isn't actually a white. It's an off-white. It's got a hint of green in it. But yeah, there is a lot less white in the koala. I think you will find it a lot more manageable if you're not keen on the white. Cat Lady, she says, thanks for the chance to win the storage box. She said she was on her way to bed last night when the video came on my other channel where you mentioned that you would be putting it in a giveaway. But she didn't expect it quite so soon. Yeah, I think there's only a couple of the giveaways that I do mention on my other channel prior to the giveaways. But I try to make sure there's not too long a wait. I think with that one, it ended up being a little bit quicker because that storage video, I think I wanted it to go up the day before, but it was too hot to film it, so it ended up going up the day after. She said, could you use the box from the new box? She said to send that one out. No, only because I did get another item in the box with that one for an unboxing coming up in July. It's one of their new products. I did manage to find a box from another supplier though that managed to fit it perfectly. Went to get it sent out to the winner and it was over 2 kilograms in weight. Which means I can't send it via standard Royal Mail. So I thanked whoever had a hand in the picking of the number, that they did pick a UK customer. Only a UK subscriber, should I say. The only reason is that I had a choice of couriers to send it by and didn't have to pay probably twice the cost of the case to send it abroad. But having said that, there's a couple of other giveaways that are coming up, including today's actually, because there is one today, including today's, that I'm a little bit worried on how's going to be the best way to post it. If it ends up being abroad, I will find a way. But yeah, I do think it might be too long for Royal Mail, because they do have like a maximum length that a parcel can be, and of course a diamond painting can possibly hit that length. So we shall have to see. I have an alternative courier for the US if someone in the US wins it, which, while we do have subscribers all over the world, the bulk of like the fat percentage of subscribers to this channel are from the UK and the States, followed by like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, you know, sort of, and then teeters out with South Africa. There's a lot, so it sort of teeters out a little bit more afterwards. But yeah, sometimes it does make me wonder how I'm going to get them sent, because I'm going for a lot bigger ones, but I will figure it out one way or another. I can class it as a tax write-off, yeah, maybe. The postage, maybe I'll get away with that. But yeah, it's all good. It was definitely fun though. It was definitely fun. She says, Cat Lady also says, she's dotting away on her Heaven and Earth design dragon today. She said it's nice to know that she's on the last section of this painting. Each strip is 5.5 squares long, and she has 15 more to do. Woohoo! Right, before I get into the colours on this one, I will let you know what today's giveaway is. So today's giveaway is a carrot art painting, and this one is in a long box. But decided to go for Lazy Sloth, because frankly I think he's absolutely adorable. He is a 60 by 55. I can't remember if he's square or round. Let me see if I can get hold of the diamonds. He's a round with ABs. So he is a round painting, but Lazy Sloth is the painting for today's giveaway. So if you want to enter, what you need to do is you need to go to my website, addmorezest.com, and click on the giveaway tab. So it is on the far right hand side of the page if you're on a computer. If you're on a mobile, click on the 3 lines in the top right hand corner and choose giveaway near the bottom of that list. When you get to that page, it will just confirm that it's the giveaway page and give you a few details, and it will ask you for a password. The password for today is carrot.art. So it is the company name for the painting. So it's CARAT, full stop, dot, period, whatever you call it, dot, art, A-R-T. Pop that password in, it will take you to the next page. That will then confirm that we're doing a giveaway, you know, that we're not going to do anything else with your data and all the rest of it. And as long as you're happy with that, click to enter. It will ask you for your name, your email address so that we can contact you, and your YouTube username. All we ask is that you are subscribed, and we do ask that you only enter once per giveaway. Otherwise, we will just take your entries out, because we want it to be fair to everybody. It's open for 24 hours from now, and then Megan will do a random number generator, and it will select which line of the spreadsheet is the winner, and I will bob you an email if you have one at some point next week. And then they do get announced on YouTube once the winner has been confirmed and their giveaway item is on the way to them. So the last giveaway of it was our Add More Zest, wasn't it? Yeah, so our Add More Zest painting, the giveaway winner has been contacted. They have got back to me with their address. but it was after the post has gone for the day. So I will be announcing and confirming that winner once I have got theirs ready and in the post. It's like it's final when it goes in the post and it's confirmed. So I'll be popping those details up then. I am just filling up a few of these because I feel like I spend so much time shaking the diamonds to one side of the tray. But yeah, good luck to everybody to see who gets Mr. Lazy Sloth, as cute as he is. And yeah, hopefully I'll be in touch. Well, I will be in touch with one of you next week. The question is, who? Tamara, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, my husband David and I watch you every day. Hello to you both. She says, and we are enthralled, she said, because of your speed of diamond painting. It's what 5 years does for you. 5 years at it. She says she loves the pen that I was using on the 12th. She said it's so pretty. She's finished a small partial special drill painting yesterday and she loved it. She said, being from the middle of the US, she says, we are entranced by your accent, which is a mixture of all places in the UK. Can't quite be pinpointed. She says, and she loves hearing about our life in England. She said she's entered the giveaway, so fingers crossed. Awesome. Does your husband diamond paint as well or not? Because if he does, he is welcome to enter the giveaway as well. I know we do have some that are a couple of family members. If you use the same email address, of course, make sure that you let us know the other person's YouTube username and let us know that you sort of are the same people but different. You know, when you put your names in, just pop in like husband, wife, something like that, just to stop it, you know, being classed as a duplicate. Okay, I'm actually going to do that one first because I only need one of them. And then I can just go filling in my gaps. This is the one that I dropped on the floor, so I'm not going to top up this one yet. I'm going to try and use these all up so I can get rid of all the bits floating about in the bottom of my tray that I've managed to pick up when I pick them up off the carpet. Darcy, she says, if you do decide to make lids, she says she would just stick to the white colour. She says that way you're not trying to match colours. Oh yeah, I think we'd either stick to the white or the grey. We'd have to experiment on a few if we managed to work out how to do a lid and how to get it to work and be secure on all of the trays without changing the design of the tray. And if we manage to do that, yeah, it'll be white or grey, dependent. She says there has been a couple of times she did wish that she had a lid. She says nothing worse than spilling a full tray of drills and knowing you barely had enough of the colour to complete the painting. Oh, and she says, by the way, hello. I love it. It's the excitement of comments. It's the excitement of comments, it is. Right, section 25 is done. Again, I've shut my laptop to move it out of the way, so I'm not going to faff about getting back in that to see what section is for tomorrow, so you guys can wait with me. So we still have 2, 4, 6, 8 on this side and 5 on this side. So it's evening out a little bit more. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So anyway, hopefully, well, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Part of me wants a little bit more colour, but also part of me is thinking there is 5 with more colour and 8 without. So maybe we need to do a bit more white. Anyway, I love how it's coming along. And we've got a nice chunk done down here. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.